moving forward, this schedule is really tough. And so you have tonight against a really good Baylor team on the road, and then you have TCU at home, who is playing really good football. And then you have Utah on the road, who just lost today against Texas Tech, but their defense played great until that fourth quarter. It was a defensive battle until the end there. And then you have Texas Tech at home, which put up 34 points against Utah, 24 of which, of course, coming in the fourth quarter. But either way, it's 4 really tough games you have in front of you right now if you're Arizona State. And you have to start out right by winning tonight. And it's going to be one of the tougher ones because it's on the road in a tough environment in Waco. But either way, again, if you're Arizona State, we've mentioned it time and time again, but it's basically a must-win tonight. But again, it's not going to be easy because Arizona State's defense is depleted with no Xavier Alford in the secondary, and they already struggled in the secondary. Against Mississippi State, they let up 3 touchdowns through the air of 47 yards or longer. And playing against Baylor, you have to know they love to throw the football down the field, and that's exactly what they're going to try to do. Sawyer Robertson, 3rd in passing yards with over 1,000 yards, 3rd in passing touchdowns with 10. And so you're going to have to find a way to stop him. I will say, Arizona State plays a lot of zone coverage with 2 high safeties, and against zone coverage in the past 3 years, Sawyer Robertson has 10 throws of 20-plus yards and 10 turnover-worthy throws. So he's not great against zone coverage. That may be because he gets a little sped up and, just isn't very patient with it, but there is some reason for his struggles against zone coverage. And so look for Kenny Dillingham to play a lot of zone coverage here tonight against these Baylor Bears.
Yeah, no Xavier Alford.
And into the game, it stays the same 5 for Fishers, Gardner, John Anthony Hall, Coop Zachary, Kirby, and Baker. For Jeffersonville, it's going to stay Douglas, Singleton, Cooper, Nord, and I believe Boyd as well. So those are the 5 for each team as the ball goes into the black jerseys in the Fishers Tigers in the backcourt. It's Jason Gardner with possession. Right wing, he looks across the floor. Baker, Zachary, left wing 3. Can't get it to go. Rebound goes to Nord and Jeffersonville. Zachary, a huge shot, can't get it to go. Would have made this building and that Fisher section erupt if that would have fallen. Inside, the possession goes to Singleton. What a move. He gets it to go. 3 minutes to go now. Zachary pushing the pace the other way. He pump fakes, finds Baker. Now back to Zachary. He pump fakes again, now finds Kirby. Kirby hands it off to John Anthony Hall. Now back to Zachary, mid-range. Gives it off. Baker, pump fakes now. Zachary fires another 3 and hits it! They let him get 2 open ones in a row, and he connects on the second. 56-55 is the Jeffersonville lead, 2:30 to go. Cooper has possession. Has it at the top of the key now. He finds his teammate in Douglas on the left wing. Douglas inside to Singleton. Singleton gets around Baker, puts it up, can't get it to go. Rebounds, goes up again, gets it to go. Singleton not taking no for an answer. 2 minutes to go. Gardner the other way. Finds Baker top of the key. Baker takes a dribble, hands it off Gardner. Gardner drives inside. Gets it to go. He rattled it home. It's hung up there on the rim for a second before deciding to drop. And there's a timeout by Fishers. 1:49 to go. What a ball game. Jeffersonville leads 58-57 here in Gamebridge Fieldhouse. So Treadaway now. 2nd and 9, 5 minutes and counting to go in the first half. 7-7 ball game here in Zionsville. Out of the gun. 2 to his right, 1 to his left. Pemberton behind him. Quick throw out to Liam Mann. 1-on-1 now. Breaks the tackle and is able to pick up the first down. Call it 2 yards extra up to the Greyhound 42-yard line. All of a sudden, Andrew, we're seeing the Greyhound offense pick up some steam, and they're starting to roll with it.
And Treadway is starting to settle in offensively. He's starting to find his groove. He's making throws. Liam Mann is a prime target for him because of his size and because of his ability to go up and get the football. And Jackson Treadway right now looking for Liam Mann. The big body, the big target on these short routes where Liam Mann can then put the yards after catch on the Zionsville defense. That's what's working out through the air.
Treadway out of the gun, 2 to his right, 1 to his left. It's a handoff to Kepler right up the middle. Again, just bulldozing his way through that line.
And without senior running back Colin Johnson, Craig Kepler kind of taking initiative to be that running back that just puts his head down and gets 3 or 4 yards.
And I was just about to shout out Craig Kepler exactly. He's on so far on the season. He has no touchdowns, 28 carries, and 89 yards. He does get the ball. He is fed a rock, but he does not quite have the ability to push past that defensive line to get to 4 or 5 yards. He has so far in this game, and it's really helped out the Hounds.
2nd and 5, 3:50 to go in the first half. Treadaway out of the gun. Takes a snap. Again, it's to Kepler. And Kepler works his way up to midfield. And they're going to give him the first down. Extra effort, Craig Kepler. It's the little things in the playoffs. And right now, Craig Kepler's bringing that for the Greyhounds.
Absolutely. The Carmel Greyhounds are rolling. The Greyhounds are driving into with Jackson Treadway in the pocket, either with those quick passes, quick fire passes, those planned passes to Liam Mann, or a handoff to Craig Kepler or Andrew Pemberton. Those are the 3 avenues of success on this drive for the Greyhounds, and I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing.
3:20 to go now in the first half as Treadway takes a snap. Fakes the handoff again out to Liam Mann on the far side. He's going to move over some Eagles defenders. He gets 8 yards. But, Liam Mann and the Greyhounds are just trucking anyone in their way.
But, yeah, the game's going to be played for the second time to start a season. Last year, it was also both teams' home opener, but it was at Zionsville. So now at Carmel for the home opener and season opener for both teams. And so then the Zionsville Eagles obviously were able to beat the Greyhounds in football in sectionals. And so, the school's kind of matching back up. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of the football players in the student section. Shout out Zach Trent. I've been talking with him, and he will be coming to the student section. He was joking with me saying he's going to throw some jokes at us, Brock. So hopefully the student section doesn't start chanting at us. I'm really hoping that just stays at the players and everything. But, yeah, it's going to be fun. I know Zionsville's going to travel well. I know of a lot of students from each side going, and so it should be a very competitive, great atmosphere with good student sections, and that's always a great sign. And so if you're out there listening and are thinking about going to the game, you definitely should tomorrow at home. It's 2 great teams, and we're going to get into that. Brock, start us off with kind of, the setup of tomorrow and both teams. Who's coming back, who's returning for both teams, and who's new, who's, kind of the younger guys. Yeah, I think this kind of solidifies Indiana's spot, whether it's the 9 slot, whether it's the 10 slot, probably somewhere in there when it's all said and done for the Indiana Hoosiers, which will be tough because, the Indiana Hoosiers are probably going to have to match up with a team like Georgia or Tennessee or Notre Dame or Penn State, right? No matter what, the team's probably going to be pretty tough in a tough environment, to say the least, if it's an SEC school. And even if not, Notre Dame, that's a great atmosphere, and they got a tough squad as well. So the Indiana Hoosiers are probably going to have a tough first-round matchup to try to get to that 8-team round. It's going to be tough, but, you got to win the game. And if you want to be the best and consider yourself, a powerhouse and all this, you got to beat the best teams in Georgia. And some of these teams have also shown that they can be beaten, right? Georgia just went to 8 overtimes with Georgia Tech in an absolute thriller, one of the best games I've ever personally watched. And so if the Indiana Hoosiers get a chance at one of those teams, it's going to be interesting how that plays out. But outside of that, in the Oak and Bucket game, I'm trying not to get too carried away in the future and what the Hoosiers are going to do in the playoff. But as of right now, they got an absolute rout of the Purdue Boilermakers, 66-0. This was an absolute